If you have osteoporosis, you want to avoid mistakes that could increase your risk of injury. In this part 1 video, I'll share with you the top 5 mistakes that you want to avoid with osteoporosis. I definitely made a few of these mistakes myself when I was first diagnosed, so it would be great to go through them with you. Mistake number 1 is doing exercises that put extra strain on your spine. So things like when you fold over and try and touch your toes versus if you hip hinge, and also twisting motions such as particularly a Russian twist with a weight where you might be on the floor and you're doing elbow to knee and really pushing it hard. It can also be things like a really aggressive golf swing can be a problem. Not always, but certainly just be aware that it can cause problems, particularly if you have quite severe osteoporosis. Instead of doing folding over exercises, try doing exercises where it's more of a hip hinge, where you actually bend at the hips and keep your back very straight. That puts a lot less strain on your back. The other one that you can do to avoid the twisting is a plank is a great exercise that has very low risk for your actual body. You can either do a normal forward plank on your elbows, or you can actually do it on the side where you start off lying on your side and you just, once again, you lift up on your elbow. That way you're getting a full core exercise. Mistake number 2 is not doing any exercise at all. Your bones need stimulus to grow. And the thing is, if you've got osteoporosis, even if it is quite severe, you want to actually stimulate that bone to at least prevent any further deterioration, but even potentially to actually build up your bone. So things like, if you haven't been doing any exercise at all, I'd start with some simple walking. And if you're particularly poor balanced or very frail, you might actually want to get someone to walk with you so you can link arms to start with. But for most people, they won't be that deteriorated. They'll be able to walk on their own and pick up speed and get a little bit of exercise just to start with. That's not going to be enough to actually reverse bone loss, but it can actually get you started so that you can then build on that to do other exercises. Once you're able to, you really want to be doing some weightlifting exercises that can start with just body weight, and then it should progressively build up so that you're increasing the tension on those bones so that they continue to be stimulated to grow. Mistake number 3 leads directly on from that one, and that's poor lifting technique. So when you start lifting heavy weights, you don't want to end up injured. And unless you've actually done quite a bit of weight exercises in the past, you'll almost certainly will need a clear direction from someone that's really experienced and an expert in doing weightlifting exercises. And even if you are more experienced, having someone to actually watch you and supervise the first few times that you do the exercise to make sure your technique is 100% correct, because the fact that you already have brittle bones or lacking bone density and weaker bones means that you actually need to, it's even more important, that you actually have the right technique and that you're not doing anything that's causing additional strain that you're not expecting. And that way, once you actually get into your routine, as well as not having injuries, you're then able to gradually, progressively increase the weights each time, which is really important to keep stimulating that bone so that it continues to grow. And the studies have shown that if you continue to increase the weight and the stimulus on the bone, that you can actually reverse bone loss and build bone back up again. Not necessarily to 100%, but you can improve it. Mistake number 4 is ignoring balance training. So as we've just talked about, having strong bones is really important. But another factor is making sure that you don't fall over. So that heavy weight training will make you stronger and less likely to fall over. But the other thing is balance. You really need to work on your balance to make sure that in the event that you might trip, you're able to catch yourself. And there are a range of exercises you can actually do to improve your balance. So the simplest one is probably just standing on one leg. Make sure you do it next to a wall or a bench so that in case you lose your balance, you don't risk injuring yourself. but certainly you do want to do it without holding on to anything with one leg up. And then you can gradually progress to looking around, so from side to side, while you're still standing on the one leg. And then once you've mastered that, you can actually progress to closing your eyes and standing on the one leg. And you want to try and get so that you're able to do a full minute without touching the ground. You might only be able to do 5 seconds at the beginning. That's fine. Just start where you're at and work on that. Other exercises that you can do that can be really great for exercise is doing like a tightrope walk. So once again, you can do this next to a wall or a bench where you walk one foot in front of the other, heel to toe, and just again looking straight ahead and up and walking forward and then backwards. And then to make it more difficult, you can look from side to side as you do heel to toe. So those two are great basic exercises to help with your balance. Mistake number 5 is not getting enough sleep. Sleep hygiene is so important. When you're asleep is when your body actually does its rest and repair. So if you're not getting enough sleep, all of these exercises that you might be doing and the healthy eating that you might be adopting is not going to have as much impact if you're not getting the right amount of sleep. So it's really important to have really good sleep hygiene. So things like going to bed at the same time and getting up at the same time. Also getting out in the daylight and getting morning sun in your eyes is so important for setting that circadian rhythm. And the other thing obviously is no electronic devices in the hour in the lead up to bed. It's great. So once you get that into a bit of a routine, I think you'll find that you're getting a lot better sleep and a lot better quality sleep. There's lots of other things you can do as well, but those things, start with those and see how they go. And if you need to do a little bit more, such as breathing exercises, and look at what you're consuming throughout the day that might be stimulating you, you can go to that if you need to. These 5 simple mistakes are easy to avoid. In part 2, I'll share another 5 mistakes that you might want to keep an eye out for. These initial 5 were mostly based on exercise and sleep, and are pretty easy to actually start. You could start them tomorrow quite simply. As I said, set your alarm clock and make sure that's set at the same time every morning, 7 days a week. It actually matters to keep doing it over the weekend. Get up, go for a walk, get outside in the sun, get some sunlight into your eyes. That's really important for setting that circadian rhythm. And you get your 30 minutes of walking in, so you've ticked that one off for every day anyway. Then you just need to add in some resistance training with a bit of balance training on 2 days. And studies have shown that just 30 minutes twice per week is enough to actually help to reverse bone loss and at least to stabilise the bone loss. So there's some great initiatives that you can take straight away to make a real difference to your osteoporosis. Just remember that it's progress, not perfection. It's all about consistency. The more consistent you are, the better the results you will see. And it's going to be a while. It's not going to reverse itself in 2 weeks. It's actually years for it to make it for you. You'll find it's years for you to make progress and improve your bone density. Thanks for watching. Please like if you found this video helpful, and please leave me a comment. Let me know what you'd like to hear of next, or if you'd like me to cover anything in more detail that I went through today. And hit subscribe so you're alerted next time I have a video out. Thank you.